Today we are going to make a water bottle bag. We will be cutting out a piece of fusible fleece 10 by 10.5, an inner lining 10 by 10.5, and two outside pieces which are 5.5 by 10. We'll also need strapping. The strapping will be somewhere in the order of 30 to 45 inches, and we need something to clip stuff together. The first two pieces we're going to deal with are the two 5.5 by 10 pieces. Everything else I am going to put aside. So I want this to be my top part of my water bottle, and this will be the bottom part of my bag. So I'm going to make sure this is right side up. We lay the two pieces right sides together so the pretty sides are touching each other, and then we take clips, make sure they're very nicely lined up. We are going to take clips, clip them in a couple places. I will clip 3 along there. Now we are going to sew this seam at the edge of the presser foot. So here we go. At the edge of your presser foot. Take your clips out as you go. And you don't have to backspace this. I did, but you don't have to. Then we're going to take this to the ironing board. We are going to iron this seam open. So I'm going to iron it closed. Then I'm going to iron it open. Just like this. Now after I've ironed it open, we are going to take our fusible fleece and we are going to iron this onto the wrong side, right here, just like this. Now I want to remind you that fusible fleece has a bumpy side, a rough side, and a smoother side. The rough side, remember that rough side is glue. So we don't want to get that glue on our iron, so we are going to iron this on, and the rough side of your fusible fleece will go against the wrong side of your outside fabric. I have my seam, I have everything ironed nicely, I have my piece of fusible fleece ironed onto the back. The next thing we are going to do is our strap. So with our strap, I am going to measure, and you can use anything to measure with, but it happens that I'm going to measure with my cutting ruler, because it's what I have. So I am going to measure 2 inches, 1, 2, see there's 2 inches in from the edge of my fabric. And I am going to put my strap right there and clip it on. Now here's an important thing about your strap. You do not want to get a twist in your strap, so run your hand all the way along your strap before you put the other side on. That means I won't have a twist in my strap when I wear it, which I never like a twist in my strap when I wear it. So I always check very well to make sure I don't have a twist. You see there's no twist in that strap all the way along. So I am going to measure 2 inches from the other side of my corner, 1, 2, and that strap is going to go right there. And I'm going to clip it on. If you don't get these exact, this still works very well. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to baste my straps on. As you can see, this doesn't look like a bag yet, but I'm going to take my straps and I'm going to sew them on. And again, this is right at the edge of your presser foot. I'm going to sew through my strap and back, through my strap and back, through my strap 3 times. 3 times is my magic number. I go frontwards, backwards, frontwards. It allows me to have a very strong strap without having a lot of extra bulk. So here we have our strap sewn on. At this point, If you are doing this as a sew along, this is a good point to stop and put your project away in its project bag. If you want to though, you can continue on. I'm going to finish the project. We only have a few more steps. So our next step is putting our lining on. Now this is our lining. The lining fabric doesn't really matter because you don't really see the lining with the water bottle in it. And I happen to have a lot of this particular heart fabric, so this is what I'm using for my lining. Now, I want you to remember that we've cut our lining 10.5 by 10. Now, 10.5 by 10 means it's a little bit hard to tell apart which direction it is. But if I lay this here, you'll see that it matches. Do you see how it matches end to end? Do you see how it matches end to end? If I were to lay this the other direction, you will see that it's slightly longer. You want to do the direction that matches end to end. Now we're going to take clips and we're going to clip a few right along here. I want you to observe that the lining, it goes lining, strap, and then front. So I have my lining, here's my lining, and then here's my strap, which I just sewed onto the outside of my bag. And this needs to be sewn slightly wider. So you're going to sew this, your sewing machine has lines. You probably can't see my lines, but your sewing machine has lines on its faceplate. You're going to sew this at the first line of stitching on your faceplate. Just because I like to have my basting stitches inside the seam, so I don't have to see them. Now, and we're sewing along, sewing along, sewing along, sewing along. Again, this one is not necessary to back stitch because that seam is going to be inside a seam. And as you can see, this basting I basted a little bit farther in. This one I basted a little bit farther out. But as you can see, my final sewing line is beyond the basting, so you're not going to see the basting on the outside. Our next step is pretty simple, and we're all getting to the point of almost being done with our bag. So now I have my lining, and I have my strap, and I have my outside. You will want to iron this right along the lining. Put your strap towards the outside and iron this right along the lining right there. That will give you a really nice crisp top edge. The thing we're going to do now is we're going to hot dog fold this. So we're going to hot dog fold this right sides together. And our most important seam, our most important spot to hot dog fold and be very, very accurate is right here where the where the outside and the inside come together. So you can see I have a line right there. And on this side it's a little harder because it's black on black, but you can still see it's right there. And I am going to match those up perfectly carefully, and that is my first place I'm going to clip. I want that matched up exactly right. And then the second place I like matched up, but it isn't quite as important, is my seam for my front. If yours don't match up, it is okay. That is not the worst thing that has ever happened in the world. So we're going to clip this all the way along. And if you got a kit from me, you should have 3-4 clips in your kit. But if you didn't, you can pin. And there's your 4 clips. You have one at the end, you have one where the seams meet, you have one where the seams meet, and you have one at the other end. Now we are going to sew this at the edge of our presser foot. So we're going to come and put it under our sewing machine, and as you can see, as I sew at the edge of my presser foot, sewing at the edge of my presser foot catches my my fusible fleece. It catches it so it isn't so it isn't getting, so it stays put inside your water bottle. Now I have a whole tube all the way sewn from the very top to the very end. My next step is just a teensy bit tricky. So we're going to make our handle go so it's toward the lining of our water bottle holder. So I want you to look. I have this seam with my bottom. This is the outside. You can tell it's the outside. But this is the bottom of my bag. So what I'm going to do with the bottom of my bag is I am going to fold it in half like this. And I am going to take one of my clips and clip it right there. That's the center where I just folded. And then I am going to open this and match it to the center, just like that. And then fold it back. Now I'm going to show you on the other side. And then clip it. Then I'm going to open this just like this. So I'm going to open up this place that wasn't clipped. I'm going to fold it to the center and close it back up just like a sandwich and then put a clip there. Now I want you to see what that has done. That has given me 2 folds. So if you need to back up and watch that again, you can. It's okay to do that. So now I have 2 folds, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew at the edge of my presser foot. And this one does need to be backstitched. And I'm sewing slowly across there because sometimes your sewing machine likes to sew slowly across big, bulky areas. Now, as you can see, I just sewed the folds in. Now it looks almost like a grocery store bag that's folded in on both sides. That is where we're at right now. Now I'm going to turn this whole thing right side out. Right side out. I'm going to have to put my hand in there because I just got my strap out, but now I'm going to pull this right side out, right side out, right side out. Now we'll see right now what that did for my bag. If you can see that fold made it so my bag has a bottom. You just have to kind of fiddle it till you can see the bottom. Do you see my bag has a bottom just like that? It looks really good. See that? So when my water bottle comes in, and we're going to press this in just a minute. When my water bottle gets put in here, you can see it has a shape. Now I have my inner lining. We're not going to do the same thing on my inner lining, and obviously I have a hole. We are going to make this hole go away right now. I am going to fold this under by roughly, this is not super important if how much you fold it under so much as it is you'll have a little fold over under. And you are going to press this, just give this a quick press. As you can see, I just pressed this flat. Now I'm going to sew right at the edge of that, not at the edge of my presser foot. I'm just edge stitching this so it's closed. Remember, this is your lining. And I want you to see how close I stitched that. Do you know how close that is? It's pretty close. I'm going to snip my thread right there. Now here's the moment of truth. We are going to tuck our lining in just like this. And this is a little bit small. Oh, I guess I can put my hand in here. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to. That would be a little bit small for my hand, but it's not. And you see how nice that bottom looks? Now, the last thing we are going to do Some of you have, if you will notice, some of you can take this part of your machine off, and it causes it to be what's called a free arm machine, and it has a part about this big. This should fit over your arm, your free arm. But if it doesn't, because some machines it won't, we are going to top stitch all the way around. And the way we're going to top stitch this is I want to, you can see the inside of the fabric. You can see the inside of the bag right there. I want to make it so it has a little teensy lip all the way around there. So we're going to go iron it so it has a little teensy lip, so the lining fabric will never show on the outside. We're going to go iron that just like that. And as you can see, we have a strap, and the strap is almost at the edges. If your strap is a little bit farther back, it's okay, because when you wear it, your bag will look really nice. So now that we're back from ironing, we are going to sew again right at the edge, and we are going to start by back stitching. And as I come to my strap, you do not need to back stitch across your strap. Remember, you've already sewn it on really well, and this is the third time you're sewing it on. So it's okay to not back stitch across that strap. And if you can see, I am keeping my strap out of my way. I don't want to catch that strap in any of my stitches, because I want that strap to go over my shoulder. And as I keep coming around, I keep coming around, I keep coming around, I will get back to the start. And when you get back to the start, you do have to back stitch this as well. Now, the only thing left is to put a water bottle in it and go outside and play. There's our water bottle, nicely tucked in there. And enjoy your day. Thank you for sewing with Share Our World.